Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to review another Willow episode, episode 6, The Prisoners of Skellen. Yes, I'm doing an episode again on the day the episode came out, which I'm starting to notice that I seem to get more views when I do that. It seems more people end up listening to my video at least when I do that. So yeah, I hope those who end up watching this will enjoy what I have to say. You know, they only do this listening in the background, but yeah. Let's see anyway. The Prisoners of Skellen. The follow-up to the last episode where it looked like Willow and Kit and everyone else were about to be captured by trolls and all that stuff. How they do, let's find out. Though before that, we end up getting let's see. You end up seeing Eric in like this abandoned city, if you will. Let's see, and he first hears a voice, but he ignores it and ends up trying to walk out the city thinking that he's able to free, but we don't see him again until like the end of the episode. And then we're cut to where we see Willow and Kit prisoners together by the trolls and all that stuff, and they meet a man who claims to be Mad Martigan, portrayed by let's see, Christian Slater and all that stuff, which brings a bit of an odd thing. He was apparently been a prisoner for 10 years. Meanwhile, we end up learning that the others were not captured by trolls, but we see that Elora, Jade, Scorpia, let's see, Graydon, let's see, and Borman are actually outside the trolls prison and intend to sneak in to go rescue Willow and Co and all that stuff. And this is where Scorpio probably learned that Borman was probably exaggerating and stretching the truth out of escape, saying he didn't really fought trolls, but rather use his pizzazz, which pretty much sneaking in through the was pretty much where the trolls have their leavings, if you will. So yeah, pretty much the sewer, if you will. Or at least what they have is a sewer, which he ends up crashing in. Crashing in someplace afterwards. Meanwhile, let's see, Willow and Willow and Kit end up questioning the man who ends up claiming to be Mad Martigan, Kit's father, and Willow's friend, because both of them realize that he is not Mad Martigan, and in fact it's someone called Allagash, who was apparently a companion of Mad Martigan and Borman when they went searching for, I believe I always forget that living Armor's name and all that stuff, and let's see, hold on, let me just Borman, let's see, on sec, sorry. Let's see, the Lux Arcana. Yeah, that's what it is. Sorry about that for those listening. I'm just trying to figure out where it was. I see that one person that was listening has left. Oh, well, that's what I get for dragging so long. So yeah, they end up escaping, though apparently Allagash is even dumber than Mad Martigan and makes more mistakes, as he had the fake eye patch on and all that stuff, and jumped out before, Kit ended up fully freeing herself. But meanwhile, as you got Elora's group, sneaking in and all that stuff. You have Graydon talking about some of the things that went on, which let's see, Laura thinks now's not a good time, but you end up having them talk while the others end up fighting a bit, taking out trolls and all that stuff. And during this part, let's see, Scorpia ends up parting with the group as she's going to free the rest of the slaves and trap people here, saying goodbye to her sister Jade, but saying that she hopes to meet again, and nope, she has the choice, and giving her the choice that whether or not you come back to your own family, a new family, not in a threatening way, but in a, like saying she has the option, and they embrace and all that stuff. So you have an option for Jade there. And says goodbye to Borman, even though she probably knows he's probably fibbing a bit, but still seems to have romantic feelings for the guy. So they kiss and say farewell. Eventually, they end up disguising themselves as let's see, as troll miners, or seems gasman things. Anyways, it's kind of like the stormtrooper trope of disguised as the enemy, if you will. Now, I should probably mention it before Allagash is broken free and all that stuff. Let's see, I should probably mention that there are two trolls that end up interrogating Willow and Kit, and their names are, I believe, Saras and Felon, and you expect them to be dumb, let's see, grumpy, dumb things, but Sarash ends up being quite, let's see, clever and seems to be a bit sophisticated and sounds a bit modern, if you will, while Barash is a bit blunt, if you will. Ramsey still seems a bit more like a stereotypical troll and all that stuff. They work for, of course, the Crone and all that stuff, and they seems to like the Crone gives them information and all that stuff, but yeah. And yeah, it is evil, but they get benefits from them and all that stuff. And they're not really trying to torture them, but like Kit and Willow, they're just trying to get them to cooperate. Like with this bug thing about using to, I'm not sure what, but because Willow tries to say nothing, but you know, Kit bloods out who she is at first, but at the very least, let's see. They end up getting distracted by like the intruders coming in, realizing that it's their friends and leave them and all that stuff. But yeah. But during this, Kit ends up learning a bit from Allagash that quite a few things about her father and all that stuff, why he was pretending to be it. And apparently the reason why him and let's see, Mal Marnigan disappeared and didn't come back is because apparently they were betrayed by Borman at the end. Let's see, Borman ends up trying to lead the others, let's see, to where the Lux Arcana is, even though he tricks them into thinking that it's actually where let's see, Willow and Kit are. During the place, Graydon ends up being captured. Let's see, what's he doing there? This guy's not really captured, but dragged away because, well, they think he's a troll and that stuff, and they need him for something. They need one of them for something, so I think they had some sort of special duty. Those ones, I'm not sure if it was plumbing or just some other mind work thing. But yeah, Graydon tries to talk his way out of it, but it fails, and he's taken away. And during let's see, the trip, let's see, Jade ends up falling off one of the plaque things and all that stuff, and ends up nearly dying. But Laura and Borman manage to save her, but she loses the wand. Let's see, her wand as a result, which I believe is the wand of. Hold on, I'm trying to find the car. Let's see. No. Let's see. What's an? No. Oh yeah, Femrazel, I believe, the sorceress. I really should remember all these names, but yeah. But yeah, ends up getting the what. Let's see, loses the one as a result. And you get sort of like talk between Jade and Laura talking about how she doesn't seem like she's ready for like all this magic thing. I should probably mention that when the after part of the Scorpio just before, there's like this liquefied fit pool in which I think what the slaves are used to make help Ritzy thaw out and all that stuff. I think apparently is what gives the trolls their intelligence and all that stuff. But where Laura gets close to it and her magic activates it and all that stuff. Tushima thinks the command stop, but yeah, I'll come back to a bit later. Anyway, as Kit ends up bonding a bit with Allagash about how about some of the adventures he went on with Mad Mulligan, how he was mad that he left behind and all that stuff, and how he wish he took him with him on his adventures and all that stuff. They got into some trouble with some woman or something, though he left out the details on that, probably because it's like his daughter, Mad Mulligan's daughter and all that stuff. And he does tell Willow that Mad Mulligan says that he's probably the bravest friend that he had or something, or like biggest heart or something like that, but yeah. During which we learn that Mad Mulligan and Borman here, they were all journeying into like the cave to get that magic armor and all that stuff. Let's see, Anaga sort of like to use himself as a distraction, pretending to be Mad Mulligan and all that stuff because they're more likely to take him alive. But when he went in, apparently he might have been betrayed by a woman and all that stuff, and went to go get the armor from, I think, this Nemorian. I've forgotten what the guy's name is. I'm not sure, but he was apparently some great treasurer and all that stuff. I really all that stuff, and apparently a good darts player and all that as well. So yeah, but apparently he got all his treasures there, including the armor. And Mad Mulligan went to go get it, but apparently was not seen ever since. But Anguish knows that Allagash seems to know that he's still alive. Eventually, Jade and Laura learn that Borman was lying. They're taking him to find the armor. And she says that he needs to get it or to help them protect it and all that stuff. But you can start to see they're getting fed up with his lies, and even try to abandon him once he starts searching for where they last saw everyone and all that stuff. And he starts to let out a bit more about how it was like his greatest mistakes and all that stuff. And this is where the two groups sort of reunite, and Borman and Allagash sort of scuffle a bit. Jade and Kit have a touching reunion and all that stuff. But yeah, you clearly see that Kit no longer trusts Borman, and he tries to say that Allagash can't be trusted. They accuse each other of treachery and all that stuff, but Borman eventually admits that, okay, it is partly his fault that Malagar's gone and all that stuff, but I'm not sure if we'll ever get the full truth, or because, well, you don't really know who to trust. I mean, let's see, Allagash gets the instructions on how to open like the tomb thing, having Kit place his hand somewhere, and I think himself otherwise. You don't see the door, and that. Oh wait, you look to the side, and there's a sort of this camera angle thing, which just kind of shows a door. But to be honest, the lighting was not that good, to be honest. And they go in, they end up talking to a giant face of like appears like let's see, of the Nulorian adventurer there and all that stuff, but let's see if I can actually find his name on the wiki, because let's see, he gives them two riddles to solve. Let's see, and all that stuff, and let's see, no, I can't find the name of some famous Noans, but the first one I think is the answer is it nothing? Oh, that's that. the second one. But Jade gets the first round to right, and they take forever to try and find out the second one. You get more fighting between let's see, Balmar, Bormish, and Allagash, but eventually Laura figures out, and I think she might have said nothing, or I don't know, one of the answers. I can't quite recall. It sounds bad because I just saw the episode, but yeah. I don't really remember the detail, I guess, but yeah. They enter the thing, and you first see Balmor and Ambrose squabbling and fighting to get in. And I think Kit either just gets deluded or in fact hears something else. And I think she might have seen Malagor's sword and ends up trying to, and ends up putting it out, and then starts to hear. Let's see. Ends up pulling the sword here and all that stuff, and ends up hearing her father's voice, but apparently that is actually voiced by Jack Kilmer, Mad Martigan's son. Well, the actor who plays Mad Martigan's son, the one who Val Kilmer, who was, of course, as we all know, was in let's see, Top Gun Maverick, but he has throat cancer, so he probably can't really speak, and that's arguably why he's not in the show yet, but clearly alluding more to him and all that stuff. But as she was trying to enter what there seems to be this gold circle door portal thing, this seems to be this golden circle door. Let's see, Elora and Kit take her away, and when they get out, let's see, Allagash is stuck in the armor somewhere. And then everyone is surrounded by the trolls. Let's see, Graydon's there and reveals himself. I should probably mention when Willow and Elora interact, she ends up confessing that she lost the wand, and it's like you get Willow a bit angry, like kind of thing. But anyway, the trolls are ready to realize that the whole group is there, and they don't know which one between Jade and Elora is. Let's see. The actual Law, and I think Bormarsh tries to pretend to be a Law. But he just decides to have everyone. Let's see, the one called Cyrus just decides to have everyone killed except for the two girls he knows might possibly a Laura. And a skirmish happens with eventually Allagash joining in and all that stuff. The armor's clearly not working for him during the fight. You see everyone fighting and all that stuff, and eventually you have granted, they did try to threaten with Willow with his magic stuff to integrate them all, but he only just lasts a few really during that fight. But yeah, I think you can see Elora hitting one of them with a frying pan. Eventually, Allagash kills Saras, and Borman kills Vulcan. No, not before Allagash ends up telling Saras that he's not actually Mad Martigan, and gets helped by Kit to stab him, which you get a funny line saying, I was just starting to like you, but then gets killed, of course, by Allagash. And Borman just cuts off Vulcan's head, and that gets rid of most of the trolls later, but they need to escape, and I think Allagash shows a gate to where apparently, I think maybe Mad Martigan went down, or further down, or possibly where he might have gone at the very least, but ends up telling Kit that the reason why Mad Martigan went down there and trusting Allagash to leave a message to realize in case he doesn't return, but realize that his children and his wife were up there, and it's important they're up there while he's down here. And the important thing is to make sure that Elora Dornan is safe and all that stuff, which clearly is not really what Kit wants to hear, as Allagash such the gate and all that stuff, leaving them behind, and he has a final stand against the remaining trolls, killing quite a few, but then being piled on by the rest, and his fate remains unknown, though you could probably assume that he's probably going to be dead. Anyway, they are at the bottom of the caverns, and they see an entrance thing, but of course, they end up seeing after the earth quaking that let's see, the place is all liquefied and all that stuff. And if something breaks, let's see, it's like a sort of ice thing, but with like the earth and all that stuff. And if the ground things, they could let's see, they could be trapped in the liquid as the earth crusts around it and all that stuff. So they realize to be careful with their steps and their walking and all that stuff. With, let's see, Laura trying to get Kit to move, but Kit completely angry and, let's see, upset over what she just heard and what just happened with like that magic door with her father's voice. Starts getting angry, blaming Laura for everything. Why, let's see, her father seeming her more important than staying with her. Just seemed to be how she felt like she could have rescued him in that moment, but feels like she's lost a chance. Laura's just trying to desperately get her to, just come along, just stay blaming and all that stuff. But as they have this argument, let's see, the ground, one of the earth thing, and kept blaming Laura for her causing the whole shaking thing in the first place. The thing comes down and let's see, Kit is trapped underneath with the liquid earth and all that stuff, drowning, if you will. And if the others try desperately to knock open the let's see, frozen floor and all that stuff, as it looks like Kit's about to drown, and even Willow tries using his spells, but doesn't seem to be working because of his waning powers. But Laura then suddenly finds the wand, picks it up that she dropped, and starts using magic, and it looks like she's starting to break it. Willow realizes that the wand is hers now. Stuff, and we don't know whether or not she actually saved Kit, because we ended the last clip of the episode where we see, I believe Eric, Prince Eric, Kit's twin brother. Let's see, who tried to leave that abandoned city. Walked quite a long miles from looks thing, only to find that he's back there again. Whether or not that's some magic illusion or some mirage, or his mind playing tricks, or he just cannot escape there. Ends up being like, he seems to have given up all hope and all that stuff. Desperately crawls back and then sees a pool of water there and drinks it. Then hears a voice and then meets a mysterious woman who'd wondered if if he's the one that put her there. And he says, no, I was also brought here against my will and all that stuff. But the woman says, like, please help her and all that stuff, as she might be the key to freeing him. And that ends the episode as he seems to be about to try and let her out. Ending the episode. Oh boy, let's see. Where do we start off with this episode? I think this episode, for the most part, is a much better than last week's episode. I'd definitely say, for me, I feel like last week's episode was arguably the weakest of like the 5 of the 6 episodes that have been released so far. That's because that was all about the sort of romance drama that the show has, and that's kind of been the weak point, and even the dialogue here, but modern day dialogues. But yeah, I definitely say it's probably used to a much better effect, especially with those two trolls. I mean, you expect them to be this dumb lot and all that stuff, and stereotypical what you see in most fantasy, like evil orcs, but actually, Sarah at the very least seems to actually be quite smart and quite well versed in his dialogue. Let's see, of his manner of tone and speech and dialect, if you will. In fact, he seems to be pretty modern with his talking. Normally, the modern day dialogue in this show has kind of been sort of the weak point, but here, I think it works with just because of how unexpected these trolls are and all that stuff, and some of their intentions. And I do like how you got Falcon, his brother, as a sort of counterpoint to him. It's like, he's a bit more typical, but still a bit more not as dumb, but still quite blunt of what he wants to do and all that stuff. But yeah, I do we're not trying to torture you, we're just trying to get you to cooperate, and the crone is evil, but you say the crone is evil, but this is yeah, it's true, but it's as much But he has about benefits and all that stuff, so I like that. I don't like that seems like goal is to, let's see, try and find out who Laura Dawn is so they can be rewarded and all that stuff. But of course, they make granted, they made the foolish choice of leaving the prisoners where they are, though they seem to arrogantly think that they wouldn't escape and all that stuff. But yeah, but they end up doing. And granted, I would kind of wish they were more in the episode a bit, but at the very least, I do think they were used pretty well for what the time they had, and I do think they were genuinely funny. But yeah, but I figured they were used for like the climax of the beginning of the third act or the climax of the show and all that stuff. And I do like, the end point for Sarish when after being stabbed by Kit says, "I'm starting to like you," before being killed and all that stuff. I do like how Gritzy Grim Falcon's death also. I think he gets his heads cut off. So yeah, that as well. So yeah, the trolls were not really what you expect, and they were much more clever. They seem to be a lot more intelligent, but I kind of like a reverse of expectations you have for like grown troll in most fantasies, really. But they still end up dying pretty much like most trolls and all that stuff. But yeah, I did like that. Anyway, the most, let's see, for me, I think the highlight of this episode was arguably Allagash, sort of like pretending to be, let's see, Mad Mulligan, portrayed by, I believe, Christian, like I said, Christian Slater. And I think in many ways he's probably like a more funnier version of Bormish. And in some ways I kind of wish he was like actually the one that was part of our group of six, if you will, our fellowship of Willow. So he's really funny. He's like, "Oh, I'm Mad Mulligan." "Oh no, you're right. Sorry, I'm lying." He goes on about the adventures he has. I do like this sort of. It seems like he has a sort of respect, but also grudge against Mad Mulligan, but ultimately seems to be loyal, or at least that seems to be the case, though he does try to steal the armor. Though it doesn't work on him, and he gives it to Borman in the end. I forgot to mention that thing. Now, whether or not that armor works on Borman or someone else remains to be seen, but it seems that the magic armor has been found, at least. But yeah, it is interesting that how this is someone that, and I do like how he seems like, "Oh, I want to be a poet," and all that stuff, or a songwriter, I think, but I think poet was a bit more, because I think it fits more in the fantasy thing, if you will. And he seems to have some very good verses from what I can recall in the episode, but yeah, I do like how he seems to bond with Kit, telling her all these things about her father, who she so desperately wants to learn. I do like the interactions he has with Born, and when they try to fight each other, like, "It's your fault, bah, bah, bah," and all that stuff. "You're the lying sheet," and all that stuff, and you don't necessarily know which one's fully telling the truth, but I think it's clear that I think from what the show episode implied, it's more of Allagash, but granted, there was a moment where Allagash, when he took the armor, seems like he just abandoned the group, but actually came back because he was trying to wear it. Of course, it doesn't really work for him. I do like how he ends up sacrificing himself to try and get the others to escape and buy them time, the similar manner he did with like Mad Mulligan. Though the words he ends up saying at the end to Kit just seems to have broken her heart a bit, when it's just like Laura Dawn is like the key to everything, why her father ended up sacrificing everything that he did. But yeah, I do like his final stand, taking on as many trolls he is. We don't know if he's actually dead or not, but his fate is unknown, but I think that's probably for the best. I mean, granted, for all we know, he could come back later and it's like, they didn't actually kill me and I escaped, but I think it's probably best that he's just a one-time character that, let's see, whose fate is unknown. I think that puts a bit more weight and emotion to like the whole prison escape thing, but yeah, in many ways, I think this sacrifice is arguably probably a bit. I felt more a bit like that compared to like Willow's friend dying from the films and Jade killing her adoptive father figure, if you will. But yeah. Speaking of Jade, I do like the sort of moments that she had with Kid, and with Jade with Laura about her doubts about what she knows about magic and all that stuff, and even Missy being saved by her, and even trying to defend her when Willow gets mad at her for losing the wand. Though I will admit, one thing for me, I just felt like in the darker cave rooms, the lighting wasn't as good. I mean, I get they're trying to be in a dark cave, but I could barely see anything. And when it's like that trespass thing and where to get inside that Neuron's code thing, I felt like it wasn't really that clear. It might have been lighting on my house thing, but lighting on my end, but in my room and all that stuff. But I do feel like it could have been lit and better to make it a bit more clear. But other than that, I will admit the design, stage design and effects were really good. The costumes of the trolls were good and all that stuff. And also the smoke thing for the stormtroopers, even though okay, I was like, okay, you're doing the stormtrooper disguise thing, a common cliche, and Lucasfilm works, it seems. But yeah, usually though it's in Star Wars. But I do find it funny how it just takes Gray away from the group for a bit. Like they don't really need him around, but heck, yeah, no. Well, I do find that scene with him, Gray and the Laura talking about what went down with them from the last episode. I do feel like I have to agree with Laura. It's like now it's not the time, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like it's like more of the romance drama, but I will admit that was a bit of a funny scene. But anyway, but I definitely like the effects of the chasms. In many ways, it feel like kind of like this could be something like in a Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power kind of effect thing with like the whole slave mines and all that stuff. But yeah. Let's see. Scorpia, I feel like was a bit disappointing that she wasn't in the episode a bit longer. I mean, I do find it funny how she learns of Borman's lies, but granted, still seems to love him in the end. Probably realizing, okay, this is probably who Borman is, but let's see. Does hope that he comes back and all that stuff, but I do like the option she gives Jade that. Let's see. You have other options where it's come with her when this is all over, or you can stay with like Jade and all that stuff. Whatever the choice is, you have a family and all that stuff. So I like that. But I do kind of wish we got to see a bit of Scorpia at least doing a slave revolt and revolution, if you will. But I guess they didn't have the time or the budget to do that. I don't know. I guess it might have been too similar to like I think John Kasdan's. I think let's see. Hold on. Let me just see who's producing. Let's see. Jonathan Kasdan's previous working thing with like Solo with that slaves revolution. That's Lando's droid cause, but yeah. But I do kind of like a sort of trio. Let's see, Willow, Kit, and Agash as well. I will admit, gets Willow time to interact with Kit, but I do like how he also Kit Mad Martigan and let's see the friendship between Willow and Mad Martigan's brought up, and you can clearly tell. And with like Agash telling like Willow how let's see Mad Martigan think he had the biggest heart and all that stuff, and Willow confessing how he misses Mad Martigan. So yeah, I like that. But yeah, I definitely say like it's interesting that Borman, I think, has lost nearly the complete trust of the group at the very least. But it is interesting in that Graydon was apparently told by his father to kill Borman. Is like, I knew it. So that was kind of funny, though. I felt like probably not the best place to reveal that thing. I know. I felt like that could have been a more serious thing, though. It went with a bit of more of a joke, but oh well. Well, I do like how I just Graydon ends up popping back later and just going, "Hey, I got all your eye hit with all these weapons for you," but it's like tries to, but not the wand for Law, but tries to assure that, yeah. So that romance and sub triangle seems to continue, but yeah, but I do like how let's see, you out of the three that entered but anyway, the sort of riddle thing. I do kind of like how they got riddles and all that stuff, though I'm not sure about the joke of like taking forever to find out the riddle and like Do you need the answer repeated to you, the question repeated to you again, and all that stuff until Laura pops up? But I get I was trying to be comedic, but I'm not sure if that was the best thing, because I think apparently because they were threatened, like if you get this wrong, death. You'd think like a sort of magic riddle thing would have tried to prevent that from, let's see, giving you like a limited time to answer the question before certain death. But I don't know, I guess kind of load the stakes on that bit. But it is interesting to learn about there was a Malawi and that had all that treasure there. I do like how we get the first hint of Mad Mulligan with like, but granted, not the actual voice of Mad Mulligan for that episode. It was Jack Kilmer. Whether or not Mad Mulligan would actually appear physically, we still don't know because of Val Kilmer's throat cancer and all that stuff. But if they do somehow manage to make him appear in the show, it would be good. But at the moment, it seems that the mystery is being left up air. No, let's see. You get Kit. I do like how Kit seems to hear her father's voice and is like wants to go in, but Jade and Laura try to prevent it. But of course, I do think this is like building up to the tension that Kit has had with Laura for a while. And even though there seems to be some moments where they seem to patch up the relationship, where Kit ends up telling Laura that she can do magic, where she saw that tree thing. But let's see. I do like how she seems to finally snap after being told that Laura Mad Mulligan left behind, risk his life and all that stuff to make sure that Laura is safe. It's like, why is it that seems to be like everything that's going wrong with her life seems to be Laura seems to be the center of it, blaming her for the magic she's caused to like the earthquakes. I do like the threat of like the melted liquid earth thing of like falling down and then trapped in and all that stuff. It's like like regenerative ice, if you will. It's like no way you're gonna survive and all that kind of thing. But yeah, oops. But yeah, it's like I do like the outburst she has. I think it was very well acted between the two casts. I think it's like both of their best performance, because it's like, let's see, why are you always so why is it that my father picked you and all that stuff? And Laura's just like trying to plead with Kit to just have this conversation elsewhere, blame her, fine, hate her and all that stuff. Just let's get out of here. But of course, that causes quite the cliffhanger with like Kit, trapped in, and it's brewing tension. Everyone trying to break her out, and not even Willow. Granted, the whole one drop thing seems to be a bit plot convenient, but it does lead to some funny moments between Willow and the Law. It's like when she thinks like, "Oh, Willow's gonna kill him," it's like, "You what?" But when she picks it up and starts to use it, you can clearly see that she's starting to get the hang of the wand, and Willow seems to finally accept that. I do like that Willow seems to affect that, yeah, it's your wand now, so it seems like he's going to let her keep it from now on as she gets better spells, and probably going to try and teach her more so she doesn't die and all that stuff. But yeah. So I do like that, and I just see, well, it's a bit of a, and I do like how it's left in a cliffhanger to say whether or not they're making the time. Granted, I'm pretty certain Kit is going to be alive next episode and probably going to be broken out. Whether or not we see it or not remains to be seen, but at the very least, I do like how it tries to build tension. But interesting, I do like how the episode seems to begin and end with her brother Eric, bringing a sort of like adding a bit more mystery to that, an idea of like the city is in. You think like he tries to leave it first, but then and somehow ends up being back, and him ignoring the voice, which clearly is, I think, Balmore, which I think is used probably to like at least to bring back the spirit of Balmore or the crone and all that stuff, from what I can recall. And I do like how they show the desperation in his desperation, the tiredness and the weariness and all that stuff from after doing what appears to be a long travel away from the city, only to come back. Arguably, probably because of the magic surrounding it. Yes, but he ends up drinking some water in a pool nearby, and it seems to be some sort of magic orange thing. I'm not sure, but it's clearly not 100% I wouldn't really 100% trust it and all that stuff, but yeah, and it's like, oh no, what is he going to do and all that stuff, but let's see, I'm not sure if that water have any effect to him, but then he hears a voice, and it's this mysterious woman, and this woman around his age who was asking for his help, and it's intriguing who she is. I'm not sure if it's, let's see, there's many possibilities that it could be. One, it could be possibly a younger version of his grandma, some illusion trick to get him to open whatever it is that they need his blood for, and that stuff, or just some random girl, which he may not be starting to crush on, I'm not sure, but I mean, Eric is a bit of a player, but he does seem to say, like, oh, I promise to be with Laura, but we'll have to wait and see, because there's like a bit of romance triangles going on here, which is like, Greta actually likes Laura, but she likes Eric. Let's see, Eric actually likes her back fully and all that stuff, we'll probably find out, but for now, it could actually just be some trick and all that stuff, but yeah. Either way, it's a good mystery to leave on, with hanging up with Eric, we've been waiting to see more for a very long time now. Granted, we'd see an episode or two, missing him and all that stuff, but yeah. They seem to be building up from where he was last on the city, giving us some mysteries in it. Overall, I'd say this episode, 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Arguably, I think it's the best episode in the series so far. Not everything's perfect. I mean, like some of the lighting effects. Some characters I felt like could have been used more. But I definitely like all the interactions you got and some of the new villain and the new supporting character for the week. Whether it's the trolls and Allagash. I thought they were the highlight. Felt like Scorpio could have been used more, but yeah. I really like the tensions with like Bormish and the other members of the party, particularly Kit, Jade, and Laura. Willow and, the conflict between Kit and Laura finally bursting up the bubble, particularly like her father. More mystery of like what has happened to him. Yeah, I felt like that was all well handled and all that stuff, and I really enjoyed the mystery. We'll find out what Mad Martigan's fate is remains to be seen. Granted, they may just have him sort of like killed and all that stuff, because we do know in the Shadow trilogy that was based on some books written by Chris Clemmer from stories from George Lucas, had him die in the first book, but which is quite shocking when you think about it. But yeah, given the fact he seemed to be like the most popular character from the film, or the Han Solo, if you will. But yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty good episode. Makes me look forward to the next episode with like what's going on with Eric and like let's see the tension with Laura and Kit, and let's see if she will be able to save Kit without any consequences in time, and her more improvement of like the magic. So yeah, tensions are getting a bit higher now. So yeah, overall good episode. For those who end up listening, even if only briefly, or managed to hear this review to the very end, I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber signing off. Thank you and goodbye, and enjoy. And I look forward to the next episode of Willow.